If you travel across Tennessee, you might see an interesting array of wildlife ranging from eagles at Reelfoot Lake in the west to black bear up in the Smoky Mountains in the east. But what if I told you there's one place where you can see animals from the Gombe Forest, the Himalayas, and the South American rainforest all in one afternoon? Well, that's a discovery Susan Watson made recently in Chattanooga.
Whether you come to Chattanooga to see Rock City, to peek at the penguins, or to check out the choo-choo, make sure you also take some time to meet Hank. He and all his wild friends here at the Chattanooga Zoo would be just thrilled to meet you. Located just a few miles from downtown, the Chattanooga Zoo at Warner Park first opened its gates to the public in 1937.
You know, it started like a lot of zoos do in the United States, where someone decides that they want to donate a couple of animals to the city, which turned into a zoo. So they got these two rhesus monkeys, put them in a cage, and that was the zoo.
When Darty Long came on board as director in 1985, the zoo was in dire need of improvements and repairs. Darty, her one employee, and a group of concerned citizens called Friends of the Zoo began to give the zoo a fresh start.
They began with very small repairs, always about animal welfare, but what was interesting is people started to notice that the zoo is in fact changing. And about 11, 12 years ago, we had some pretty major donors step forward that made a huge impact on the zoo. From that point beyond, we have just been growing leaps and bounds. Our Asian area is fairly new to the zoo, and that's a beautiful area with some highly endangered animals, the red pandas, and those animals are critically endangered, and snow leopards are up there. We were just approved, and we're very excited to breed snow leopards, and we're actually going to be sending one of our snow leopards is going up to the Pittsburgh Zoo, and they're sending a male down, and it's always called like Matchmaker International for animals, because they're very selected breedings, and you don't just breed any two particular animals, they're very selective, so we're very excited about that. Yeah, he's very good, the softest male.
Wow, they're just so sweet.
They are until you try to pick one up, huh?
Of course, for the animals' well-being, normally only keepers are allowed inside the enclosures. But Darty invited us in for a very special meet and greet with the red pandas. I was mesmerized by the gentle way they took grapes, their favorite snack, from our hands. And I was able to reach out and touch the beautiful thick fur that protects red pandas from the cold, but not from deforestation and poaching, their greatest threats in the wild. Saying goodbye to my new friends in the Himalayan passage, it was off to the Gombe Forest to meet Hank, the zoo's oldest and most famous resident.
We're actually coming through what's kind of a fun spot. This is supposed to replicate Jane Goodall's research tent. In fact, this whole area is about where Gombe Forest is, some of the other animals that live there. But let's face it, it's a lot about chimpanzees. You can sit down right there, he's awfully sweet, and he'll have quite the conversation with you a lot of times. Hank is our chimpanzee. Hank came to the zoo in 1976. When I arrived in 1985, he lived in a cage that was 3 sides concrete block, concrete floor, and then he had a chain link on the front with these bars, and it was every bit the jail cell looking thing. And he had been part of a carnival. He was taken from the wild, probably from his mother, when he came to the United States, and then bought by a clown who traveled around, and there are actually pictures of Hank dressed up in a little outfit playing the drums. So an amazing animal that is totally dependent on his interaction with people.
And that special interaction between human and animal is something the zoo strives for.
One of the things we're trying to do is get people up close and personal, make that experience very intimate and exclusive, so that they go away feeling a real connection to the animals. And that's a unique thing that we can do as a small facility.
The Chattanooga Zoo may be a small facility, but it is ever growing and evolving.
I had a great comment just a few minutes ago, which makes your day when you've been here 24 years, which this is my 24th year, when a gal came up to me and she said, "I've been coming for 15 years, and every time I come, there's something new." And I said, "Good, that you're seeing what we want you to see then."
A recently completed $4.5 million project gave the zoo a new entrance and plaza, featuring art on permanent loan from the nearby Hunter Museum of American Art. Or the something new might mean a new addition to the family. like the celebrated birth of a tiny cotton-top tamarin last May. The tamarins are one of 7 endangered species that the zoo is helping to conserve. The zoo is also proud of the more than 400 outreach programs they do each year, taking their message of conservation and preservation to the community. As visitors casually meander the paths, Darty and her zoo crew are hard at work behind the scenes. The Chattanooga Zoo is one of the smallest zoos accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
But accreditation means excellence at everything you do. So if you don't have, 1,000 animals, that's okay. If you have 200, those need to be housed in the most exemplary manner, exhibited in the best way. Your education programs have to be, just stellar. Your financial situation has to be strong. So you have to hit it on all those notes. And of all the zoos in the country, of which there are about 2,300 licensed zoos, an accredited zoo means that you're one of about 218, I think it is now, so less than 10% of the zoos in the country are accredited. That's probably our biggest accomplishment, is maintaining that accreditation, and puts us in the same league with everyone else that's doing a great job. And it's also a sign to people. They know that when it's an accredited zoo, it's not just pretty on the outside. Everything that's on the inside is working very well, especially when it comes to animal care. They're very, very strict about that. You have to do things right.
The Chattanooga Zoo is now thriving and growing thanks to the dedication of the staff and support from the community. And Darty couldn't be prouder of the little zoo with the big heart.
I do enjoy what I do, and I've been very blessed. The community's been extraordinary to us, but it was built on a really solid foundation of people who didn't have a lot of money but really cared about the zoo, and I think that's paid off.